But this is a huge opportunity. So at the end of this month, we'll be distributing 4.925 million Clarity to the Clarity community or Cardano community that participates in this. And if you do the math, this is a sizable chunk of Clarity tokens, whether it's introducing me to a project or business owner, whether it's, referring a Cardano project to start an organization on Clarity, whether it's creating a thread about Clarity on X. You can get points for all of these different things, and then you start leveling up on the leaderboard, and at the end of the month, you'll get your pro rata share of the earnings.
What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're sitting down with Logan, Charles, Poncho to discuss the Clarity DAO, everything that they've been building. Without any further ado, let me bring him up. Logan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? The middle name inclusion was great. I know my mother used to say that when I was in trouble.
Now, that said, you've been on the channel here plenty of times. Clarity needs no introductions. I'll leave the links to, I believe we've done at least 3 interviews before here. I'll leave the links to those down below. But you guys have officially launched a couple of things that we want to discuss. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a pretty big opportunity here for the Clarity or just the Cardano community. So without any further ado, let's maybe just break the ice with a brief introduction and then a brief review of what Clarity is, if you don't mind, for the viewers.
Yeah, definitely. So my name's Logan. I'm a core contributor to the Clarity DAO and founder of a company called Clear Contracts. What Clarity is a community management platform built for Cardano projects. So you can do anything from have custom governance implementations, community feedback polling, all the way to managing on-chain treasuries with automatically executing proposals, all the way to building a community engagement system where you can incentivize anything you want, have leaderboards within your community, reward your community for contributing. So yeah, we really just gamify governance and make it fun to participate in decentralized communities and projects.
Perfect. Again, I've had you on the channel multiple times. I'll leave the link to everything down below. Hopefully the viewers or new members hearing about Clarity can catch up that way. Now, you guys have had some pretty big milestones here, and we're going to be talking about building a sustainable community. We'll also be talking about the September mega raid, and then we'll take a look at your technical roadmap, and then we'll close out with your vision. As it stands right now, Cardano is going through its own set of governance, right? With SIP number 1694 coming out, DREPs now being sort of like the hot topic people are talking about. Now looking back, you guys have sort of been on this train. Like, you guys were here super early, right? Like, you guys were thinking about governance when a lot of the community wasn't. And so now that a lot of people are talking about governance, you guys have the perfect platform, to give people an opportunity to grow their own community directly through Clarity. What's sort of the strategy to take advantage, of this time right now in Cardano?
Yeah, well, I think governance at the forefront of a lot of people's minds within Cardano. And governance is not limited to the base chain. Every project needs governance. Every project has a community they need to manage. So we specialize in DAOs. And what DAOs are a new organizational structure that are native to Web3 communities and Web3 companies. And the way I like to describe it is, you have you have LLCs and corporations. These are existing organizational structures that prioritize, a board member and employee relationships. But in 2017, DAOs entered the scenes, and this is a new organizational structure that stands out by prioritizing decentralized operations and focusing on core contributors in the community around a project. So that's what we specialize in. And we really believe like the next generation of companies, the next generation of entrepreneurs, they'll create DAOs instead of creating LLCs. And DAOs might be a part of every organization because whether it's a nonprofit, a sports club, a content creator, they all have communities around their organizations that they need to nurture and grow, or else, they're nothing. Oftentimes, Web3 projects are nothing without their communities. So we make the tooling so you can actually organize, activate, and govern decentralized communities.
And what I personally love about what you guys are building is that anybody can take advantage of it, right? So you take a look at, for example, Sunday Swap. I know you guys work very closely with them for your token generation event. They have their own governance platform. You take a look at Synthetics, Indigo. They've got their own governance platform. Genius Yield, Matera. I just got off of a phone call with a gentleman from FIDA Finance, and they're an insurance platform, and they're talking about bringing DAOs and decentralized governance for their community to pick what sort of insurers that they want to bring onto their platform, right? So let's maybe talk a little bit more about the recent progress and updates, and then I want to jump into the September raid. I know you guys, I believe last time I brought you guys on, you guys had released leaderboards. What's sort of been the latest features to come online for Clarity?
Yeah. Are you able to put my screen up?
I can.
All right, so here we go. I'll just quickly talk through it. So we use our infrastructure for our own DAO, so I'll kind of explain the feature sets through that lens. There's so much, so many different tools that communities can leverage. So the first thing is you can have a treasury. So we use something called the Agora DAO infrastructure. This is open source and audited um, uh, treasury management infrastructure for Cardano projects. So you can have a treasury, you can see all the different tokens in your treasury. And the next thing we really help with is governance. So you can have so many different types of governance actions. And as it works, so as an admin, what you're able to do is you're actually able to input any amount of governance tokens that you would like to be used as governance power. So you can have, we have diamonds, these are like off-chain contribution points. We have our NFTs, we have the Clarity token, we have our liquidity provider tokens as well. And then what you can do is you can actually create voting power calculations. So you can combine all of these if you want and have an asset weighted calculation. You can have one member, one vote. If you just want to poll a certain subset of your community, you can have just like an NFT OG voting power as well. And so once you set all that up, you're actually able to do so many different types of governance actions. So you can have off-chain snapshots, and you can have them in the form of a poll. This could be a yes no vote. This could be a multiple choice vote. You can have an open poll, and this is actually a tool to crowdsource ideas from the community. So whether it's a meme competition where you want your community to submit memes, or maybe you're like, hey, what guest should I bring on the show next? The community can come in and put the answers that are to be voted on. You can also have a forum. So if you want to have a tailored discussion about a certain topic within your governance flow, you can have forums. And then you can also create on-chain governance actions where you can create automatically executing proposals that can spend treasury funds if they reach certain thresholds that you set as part of the smart contracts where you build your DAO. And what that looks like is you just fill out a simple online form. Now, going into another new feature set that I think we've implemented since we've last talked is membership. So we also help the DAOs and communities gate, what does it mean to actually be a member? Do you have to hold a certain amount of tokens? Do you have to, verify your email address? Do you have to, show up to an event? Whatever it is, as the admin, you can come in here and you can actually say, okay, what do you need to have in order to be a member? And this makes it so you can have those one member, one votes. So here's our leaderboard that you talked about. You can see people are stacking up diamonds. This is all the Clarity community and people that are building DAOs and contributing to the community. So the next thing we do is really gamify the process of, we like to say, creating a decentralized workforce, or actually having your community contribute with tasks that actually improve your KPIs and push it forward. So as you can see here, what you're able to do is create different boards. This is a quest board where these are always here. So if you create a thread about Clarity on X, it could be your project. If you turn on notifications, you get these points. And as you stack up these points, you're able to come to the rewards tab and actually redeem them for prizes, whether it's tickets to the Cardano Summit, whether it's another NFT, whether it's merch, whether it's more of the Clarity DAO token. So you can configure customizable rewards and actually incentivize people to do things that help market your project or help, refer people to the platform, whatever it may be. And the last thing I'll touch on is the September mega raid to wrap up the spiel a little bit. But this is a huge opportunity. So at the end of this month, we'll be distributing 4.925 million Clarity to the Clarity community or Cardano community that participates in this. And if you do the math, this is a sizable chunk of Clarity tokens. So how it works is you come into the raid, and every day there are new tasks that people can contribute to. whether it's introducing me to a project or business owner, whether it's, referring a Cardano project to start an organization on Clarity, whether it's creating a thread about Clarity on X. You can get points for all of these different things, and then you start leveling up on the leaderboard, and at the end of the month, you'll get your pro rata share of the earnings. So right now, not a lot of people know about it, so it's a really lucrative thing to get involved in. But yeah, that's the opportunity. That is the September mega raid, and you can see kind of what everyone's winnings will be at the current time. So it really gamifies the process of creating a community that actually contributes to your protocol or your project.
Yeah, and to me, this seems like, and I know you're familiar with the platform. I believe it's called Zeely. This is like
Mm-hmm.
Zeely on steroids, right? And Zeely with verification. I think one thing that we face as a community is a lack of engagement. And I'm just going to bring the both of us back up here for now. But even looking at Cardano governance, the DREP information, I think there's about 400 now. There have been a couple of small actions that have come out, and I think it was stated around 1 to 2% of all of the ADA available for voting was actually used. And so I think on a larger or like a grand scheme of things, like we need methods to get people more involved and to contribute. And it sounds like, and it looks like what you guys have built is a model that incentivizes that, right? For people to jump in, to repost, to share, to get the word out about Clarity or whatever project it is in
Mm-hmm.
order to get those rewards. And I would love to see something similar set up for Cardano as a whole, because this, again, is a problem that we faced with Catalyst, where, you've got billions of ADA that's staked, but you're only getting a small fraction of that engaging with the ecosystem and actually voting and participating. And so I would love to see, things like this applied to Cardano on a grand scheme of things. But it's really impressive what you guys have been able to build in such a short amount of time. And so one question I do have is for anybody that wants to take advantage of that platform, what you just showed and demonstrated, how can they do that?
You just go to clarity.vote and you connect your wallet, and you can create your organization. You just put in, the name of your organization, the logo, whatever links you want. And then from there, there'll be a step-by-step guide of how to set up your governance, how to set up everything. And it's actually completely free right now, until your community gets to the point where you're actually leveraging it and getting value from it. And you need to create more governance actions per month, or you need to create more incentives per month. It's a subscription base there. And then if you go all the way onto the on-chain side of things, there is protocol fees, but those are turned off. They're not planned to be turned on anytime soon either. So every time there's an on-chain action, whether you create a DAO, cast an on-chain vote, create an automatically executing proposal, the protocol can actually charge fees for that. And those fees go directly into the Clarity DAO treasury. But like I said, those are turned off right now. So it's pretty much a free experience for Cardano projects to get their feet wet with all this tooling. And just to jump back to the tooling for the Cardano ecosystem with all these DREPs and governance at the forefront, and stake pool operators as well participating in governance, what we're doing is we're actually going to create a voting power calculation where it can be from delegators. So you can have, if you delegate to a DREP, within that DREP's community, the amount you have delegated can actually be your voting power in that community. So the DREP can actually use these tools to communicate with their communities about, hey, there's this governance action coming up. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Like, which way should I vote? Here's the things to consider, all those different types of things. So we are building tooling for the Cardano ecosystem and governance on that scale as well.
Nice. Yeah. Again, I think this is going to be a big issue for us to tackle, and we can't do it alone. We have to do it collectively, and making sure that everybody's voice is heard throughout the process. Now, backpedaling a little bit, you touched on the mega raid. I saw some pretty big numbers there. Are you guys distributing those rewards regardless of how many people participate, or are you guys sort of gauging how many people participate before distributing the rewards? Like, I'm trying to understand if those rewards are going out no matter what.
They're going out no matter what. And
Yeah,
they
that is.
and the DAO funded this rewards program for the next 10 months now. So this is the third month. So the next 9 months, it's already funded. We'll be doing a raid every month. So you can really stack up the Clarity for the next 10 months by helping us grow this vision of of putting decentralized governance and gamified community engagement into the fabric of Cardano and just like society in general.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I personally have not jumped in there, but after seeing some of those numbers, I think I need to, just to engage, get the word out, and of course, actually try the platform out for myself, right? Because as a creator, I definitely think that there's opportunities for me to jump in there, leverage clarity, and just bring things on chain. My only thing, and I've spoken to you about this, is making sure that I have the time to be able to do that. And so maybe this is also a great segue to talk about that, right? For anybody who's maybe interested in jumping onto Clarity, but that maybe doesn't have the time to sit down and write down each proposal, understand sort of the minutia. Do you guys have something in place to take care of that?
Yeah. So what you can do is pretty much get an extension of your team from the Clarity side. We have people within our community and on our team that know exactly how all these tools work. They've been using them. They've been helping other projects do it. So we call it like a DAO manager. You can actually hire a DAO manager from Clarity that works hand in hand with you, understands what are your KPIs, what are your goals with your community, and can actually execute it on the Clarity platform.
Got it. Now, I assume that the DAO manager isn't free up until X amount of proposals or.
Yeah, I mean the DAO manager is someone you're going to have to pay for. This is a person that's going to be committing time and thought and into your project with you.
That's completely fair. So we've talked about the September raids or the ongoing raids. We've talked about some of the new features. Let's maybe shift into looking into the future. What comes next in terms of like technical updates or just the technical roadmap for Clarity?
Yep. So the big thing that I'm extremely excited about is the launch of our SDK. So what this is a software development kit where all of that functionality you just saw on the Clarity platform can be leveraged through any interface. So whether it's your protocol's website and you want to have a DAO tab, a governance tab, a community rewards tab, you can just actually tap our APIs and build them into your front end interface. I think with a lot of the bigger protocols and the bigger projects and also just enterprise clients we're talking to, they don't want to have to come to this platform where there's all these different DAOs. They want to have it directly within their own ecosystem and within their own app. But maybe they don't have the time to build all these smart contracts and get these audits and understand, how to build the reward system and incentive system, everything. So you'll be able to just tap into those. So if you are interested in that, we're actually putting together like a list of 10 to 20 people to beta test the SDK. There's a cool list of people on there already with some projects that you've probably heard of. So we'll be releasing that. We hope by the end of the year or early next year in Q1. And then from there, we'll move to implementation of a multi-sig, a Clarity multi-sig, so that you can have kind of sub DAOs that are governed by multi-sigs for the community. After that, we'll move into Clarity version 1.5. This will allow the delegation of voting power within all of these projects. This will allow a co-signing stage to the on-chain governance process, and will also just continue to build out the amount of effects that you're able to run as automatically executing proposals, whether it's treasury withdrawals, staking treasury assets, swapping treasury assets, all of this type of stuff. So, and then after that, we will be looking into integrations. So we've started this process. We've integrated with Twitter, we've integrated with Discord so that you can have automatically approved tasks, whether it's like, hey, you get 50 points for joining a Discord, the person does it and it automatically gives the points and there's no approval process, whether it's retweeting a tweet, commenting on a tweet. And then we'll look at, what other tools should we integrate with? There's an integration with Notion, maybe it's like we need to integrate with YouTube or anything like that. So those are the four big milestones that and the kind of development phases that we have on the roadmap right now.
The first one I think is the biggest, and I think
Yeah.
provides the most value. I can think of plenty of projects that need the functionality, but as you mentioned, may not necessarily want to have to go that particular route in order to get it. So with like a white label solution, they can customize the look and feel while still getting the same quality and still getting the same features and capabilities. From that perspective, will that be free, or do you guys plan on, charging for the white label service or the white label solution?
So it will depend on whether we help you build it into your app, or if a developer is just able to have the technical knowledge to grab it and put it in. Um, but how it will work is for each API call, you'll actually have to pay for it with the Clarity token, similar to how Drip Drops does it. So it's, pay in Clarity token for API calls, and that way you get access to all the infrastructure, and we help our token economy at the same time.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Again, I think that that might actually be a little bit more suitable for my personal needs. But then that also means that I've actually got to get somebody to help me out with a website or to sort of revamp, my branding in style as well, right? So that might actually be a really good opportunity to test drive, right? Hopefully give you guys some feedback, but then also upgrade my personal website. So I'd love to have that conversation offline here. Logan, I think we've covered quite a bit here. I'd like to give you an opportunity, right, to number one, let everybody that's watching know how to join the Clarity community. But then if there's any closing thoughts, right, that you want to share with the viewers, now is your opportunity to do so.
Yeah, definitely. How to join? We have a Discord community, super active there, always around. You can find the Discord link in our Twitter. Yeah, so you can stay plugged in with Twitter. Discord are two of the main ones. You can come to clarity.vote, join the Clarity DAO on there, and start doing the raid tasks and actually getting rewarded for contributing to I'm biased, but it's a pretty cool Cardano protocol. And yeah, the last thing I'll leave you with is kind of just our vision. And we truly believe that DAOs will be one of those buzzwords in Web3 that will stand the test of time, because at the end of the day, what this is an innovation in an organizational structure. I think that, you know, LLCs were invented in Wyoming like in 1987 or something like that. I forget the year, or 1977. I just found it. And this is the next big innovation in the organizational structure space. So instead of having that board and employee relationship, you now have this gig economy that caters to having these core contributors and community around, whether it's a content creator or a brand or a bunch of users, where you can actually have user owned protocols. So DAOs are going to stay. DAOs are finding their way into mainstream. We're talking to a lot of different, real world companies, whether it's sports franchises or it's big content creators or it's nonprofits that are interested in leveraging this new organizational structure to bring more value to their community and have a direct line of feedback with their super fans. So the vision is big. We're getting there step by step. But last thing I want to do is thank you for your time and having us on the channel again.
It's my pleasure. Always a good time catching up, not just here virtually, but even in person. Congrats to you as well. I know you've recently taken a pretty big step in your life, and I'm sure that that's been an experience over the past couple of months, juggling that part of life and then now building with Clarity as well. But no, again, the pleasure's mine. Definitely pass a big hello on to Justin Schreiner. I believe he's also a co-founder. He's been here plenty of times. I don't see him today, of course, but it's always a nice time to catch up with you guys. Will you guys be at the summit?
It's up in the air whether we'll be there or not. We hope to, but we'll see if it makes sense for us.
Okay, sounds good. Well, maybe you guys need to have a DAO vote as to whether or not you guys should be attending the Cardano Summit. That'll do it here, ladies and gentlemen. Logan Poncho joining me from the official Clarity team. If you guys have found any portion of today's video to be helpful or informational, or if you just learned anything along the way when it comes to DAOs, please make sure to smash that thumbs up if it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, breaking down and highlighting all the builders here in Cardano. Consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions about, the Clarity vision, their ongoing raids, or how to actually join and get your own community DAO listed on the Clarity platform, leave a comment down below, but then also go ahead and check out that description for all of the official links. That's it. And as always, we'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers, everybody.